Can I get every achievement in the original Dead Island? In this video I'll be attempting to 100% Dead Island Definitive Edition and get every single achievement in the game. So without wasting any more time, please enjoy this video. If you do enjoy it, please like, subscribe and give me any comments on how I can improve or any games I should try in the future. Once again, enjoy. First up, it was time to pick the character that I was going to use in my first playthrough. I chose Xian. Her speciality is sharp weapons, which I assumed throughout the game I'd come across quite a few. This was an assumption that later out turned very true, so I'm glad that I picked her for the complete playthrough that I played. After waking up in a hotel after a very heavy night of drinking, we work out very quickly that something has gone horribly wrong. We are then luckily rescued and wake up on a beach to learn that we are immune to the infection after being bitten. Because of this, it's decided that we will help out a group of survivors that are located in a lifeguard hut. Nearby there's a lifeguard tower which has more resources and better protection, so we are tasked with clearing that out from the infected that are there at the moment. Once this has been the case, the survivors that are in the hut also join us in the lifeguard tower. Unfortunately, the medical room is locked and we are tasked with opening that door to get the medical supplies that are located inside. In the minigame to open locked doors, if you get the dial in the middle, the door opens immediately. The first time I did this, I got the achievement Knock Knock. After relocating all the survivors to the lifeguard tower, it's now time to help them out with their various different tasks and quests that they are requesting. Whilst doing this, it gives us a good opportunity to hone in our combat skills on the infected that are scattered around the resort. After using 10 different melee weapons to kill these infected, I get the achievement A Taste of Everything. By making it a priority to help all the survivors in the lifeguard tower, it gave me a good opportunity to get a load of XP very early on. Because of this, I got to level 10 pretty early into the game before completing too many of the main quests. After doing this, you get the achievement Learning the Ropes. After helping all of the survivors in the lifeguard tower, it's now time to continue our search for more survivors. We get a radio call telling us that there are people located in the nearby lighthouse tower. After travelling over there, killing and looting, we're able to acquire enough parts to create our first customised weapon. Customised weapons are definitely one of the better parts of Dead Island and really gives you some fun and variation with the weapons that you use. After you do this, you get the achievement Warranty Void if used. After killing all the infected earlier on in the lifeguard tower, there's quite a few dead bodies that are located there now that we need to get rid of. It's decided that the best way to do it would be to burn them just so that we can get rid of the stench and just move on really. To do this, we have to travel down to the nearest gas station to get some fuel just to be able to burn the bodies. Whilst driving over there in the car, I killed 50 zombies with a vehicle, getting me the achievement Carmageddon. Strangely, some of the achievements in this game will either come up on the left side of the screen saying that you achieved it, but not pop on Steam or vice versa. So there's a couple of clips where they're edited a little bit weird. It's decided that we need to start making our way across the island to see if we can help more people and potentially use our own blood to create an antivirus of such. To do this, we need a better vehicle. We're told by someone that there's an armoured vehicle in the bottom of the hotel car park. To get to this, unfortunately, we have to travel back through the hotel. Throughout the hotel, there are many infected that are clearly the holiday goers that got caught up in this. Whilst fighting my way through it, I severed 100 limbs, which is beneficial as using the sharp weapon expert, and I got the achievement Tis But a Flesh Wound. Whilst fighting through the swimming pool area, I got my next achievement, which was Hack and Slash. This was for killing 250 zombies using edged melee weapons. As I picked Xian, I made sure to use sharp melee weapons as much as possible because her perks just make them even better. Surviving and getting the armoured vehicle, it was now time to go to the next area of the map. To be fully prepared, I thought it was time to create some new customised weapons to put me in my best position to be able to take on the next level of infected. In doing this, I got the achievement Steampunk, which was for creating weapons to rival the gods of fire or thunder. As you can see, I feel like this weapon definitely does that. Using the newly acquired armoured van, we're safely able to make our way to the town. When we get here, we realise that there's a church where the bells are dinging and there's a giant infected thing trying to get in. This turns out to be a ram and is a new enemy that we're going to come across in the town area. This is the end of Act 1 and we get the achievement Hell in Paradise. After getting here, I thought it was only right now to explore the town, seeing if we can help out anyone else that is scattered or lost in the town area. Due to the streets being quite narrow and there not being a lot of space to get around, a lot of the movement you have to do is on foot. Because of this, I got the achievement Cardio pretty quickly, which is for travelling a distance of 20 kilometers on foot. Unfortunately, in the town, due to there being a lot more survivors, this means that there's a lot of bandits that are looking to hurt you as well as the infected. This is very evident when we go out and complete a task where we're looking for more supplies for the people in the church. Unfortunately, whilst doing this, we're ambushed by some bandits in a shopping area. This means we have to fight our way through, and after killing 50 of these human enemies, I got the achievement Humanitarian. Whilst exploring the town, we find our way to the mayor's office, where there's a group of survivors that are hunkered down there. A large majority of these are ex-police officers, so it's very well secure. Unfortunately, when we leave to complete a mission and come back, it's been completely overrun by infected. Whilst exploring through the office, we find some collectibles. As with most games these days, there are collectibles scattered all across, and it's your job to find them. There's a few achievements linked to this, so I would definitely recommend looking in most of the areas that you explore. They're all pretty easy to find, and most of them are located in areas that you have to go through missions and story, so you don't need to watch a guide or anything to find most of them. After collecting 60, you'll get the achievement Got to Find Them All. To get away from the mayor's office, we use the sewers as it seems like the safest option. Unfortunately, with most games, the sewer sections are pretty much the worst part of the game. They're really narrow and it's just full of infected, and it's a bit of a maze, and you can't even look at the map, so half the time you don't really know where you're going. However, this did give me a good opportunity to use my modified weapons. After using them to kill 250 enemies, I got the achievement A Very Special Day. Following the story, I find myself in a police station looking for some important information on the beginning of the outbreak. In here is where all the bandits have chosen to use their hub for survival. Unfortunately, this means that they're not too willing to give us this information. After fighting my way through many infected and bandits, I got to level 25, getting me the achievement Dedicated Student. Similar to the achievement Cardio, there's also an achievement for driving 10 kilometers. This achievement's Road Trip, and once we return back to the Lifeguard Tower, I've pretty easily got this. Once again, if you're looking to drive around the resort, it's probably the best place because the road's quite open and it's easy to navigate around. We learn that in the jungle area of the island there's a hidden laboratory that's working on a cure for the infection. Obviously, being immune to the infection, we work out it's a good idea to head here and try and help out. This is then Act 3 of the game, and we get an achievement called No Raccoons Here for completing Act 2. After getting to the jungle, the first thing we decide to do is look for some survivors to help out and to aid us with our task. Luckily, we're able to find a little riverside village with a bloke that owns a boat. After getting here, this is the end of another quest that I've taken on, getting me the achievement Busy, 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 which is for finishing 75 quests cumulatively. If you're doing what I was doing and just completing every side quest that you could do at any point, you'll get this achievement pretty easily. Scattered around the island whilst you're exploring, you'll find survivors that are currently being attacked by infected. You then get the option to save them or just leave them. If you choose to save them and then save 5 people being besieged by zombies, you'll get the achievement Saviour. It's often worth doing as you'll get a reward for it as well, which can also be quite handy for levelling up and using. Infected are a type of zombie in this game that are very quick but quite weak, and if you're not paying attention will scare the living shit out of you. They're scattered all around the island and often can be worked out by them screaming and running directly at you. After killing 5 of them in a row without taking any damage and only using 1 hit, I got the achievement 1 is all I need. Another type of zombie that you can find on this map are suiciders. These are pretty easy to avoid, but if you do get cornered by them, can be very deadly as their blast will kill you instantly. The best way to get rid of them is to keep your distance, or maybe try and bait them to explode. If for some reason you decide to throw a grenade at them and kill them with that, you'll get the achievement First. Continuing through the story and completing all the side missions I could, I finally got to 120 collectibles collected. This got me the next collectible related achievement, which is nearly there. As I said, wasn't using any guides or anything, was just exploring the areas and got it pretty easily. To get into the laboratory, we work out that they've been able to create a cure for the infection. Unfortunately, whilst testing this, zombies overrun the laboratory and kill all of the doctors that are working on it. This leaves us with a very small amount of cure. Whilst this is going on, contact has been made with us from someone that is located in the prison. They are the warden, and their wife is currently infected and he's looking for a way to get her a cure. He offers us, in exchange for the cure, a way off the island through a helicopter. After a lot of infighting within the group, it's decided that this is the option that we should go for, as hopefully getting away, we can find a way to create a better cure for the rest of the people infected. After travelling to the prison, we then reach Act 4, which gets us the achievement King of the Jungle. After getting to the prison and making our way to the warden, it turns out not as all as it seems. His wife is infected, but he will do anything to get that cure, and that includes ditching us on the prison and getting away for himself. After his wife is shot by one of the group, he then decides to use the cure on himself, turning him to some sort of super infected. This sort of acts as the final boss of the game, and after killing him, we were able to escape the island in his helicopter to hopefully create a cure for the rest of the world if it's infected. After doing this, we get the achievement Banoi Redemption, which is for completing the game and completing Act 4. It's now time to go through and get all of the other achievements that I need to get, as well as getting all of the DLC achievements for the arena game mode that they added. The next large achievement I went for was Right for Life. This is to complete Act 1 with each of the 4 characters. When sort of running through the story and not really doing any of the side missions or trying to avoid as many zombies as possible, you can do each of these in about an hour and a half or so. I chose to start my second playthrough with Sambi. His speciality is fists and blunt weapons. Because of this, when I was a low level, I made sure to kill as many zombies as possible with my bare fists, getting me the achievement Take One Leap for taking out 25 of them. As mentioned just then, Sambi's speciality is blunt weapons. This meant that it gave me a perfect opportunity to get as many kills as possible with blunt weapons. After doing this and killing 250 zombies with them, I got the achievement To Put It Bluntly. Obviously I picked up a fair few when playing through my first playthrough, but it was a good opportunity just to finish this achievement off. To give myself a little bit of break of playing Act 1 over and over again, as it does get a bit repetitive and boring, I decided to go for the achievement There and Back Again. This is to explore the entire island. If I can remember off the top of my head, I think there are 72 named locations across all of the areas of the island. Annoyingly, it doesn't tell you which ones you've got and which ones you haven't. You just have to go off of the sort of blurred area on the map. Thankfully, after playing the whole game, I only had about 3 places to find. I headed back to the jungle area and ran around the blurred sort of area of the map that I hadn't yet explored and realised that there was a whole village with different quests and stuff that I just never got to at any point in the game. After discovering this, I got the achievement There and Back Again. Playing through Act 1 with my final character, I thought it was a good opportunity to get an achievement that can be quite tricky. This was definitely a good choice because the zombies are a bit slower and weaker, so it was a great opportunity to do this. This achievement was Can't Touch This, which is to use a hammer and kill a series of 15 zombies without taking any damage. Finally, after playing Act 1 4 times, I got the achievement Right for Life. As mentioned, this isn't a particularly difficult achievement because Act 1 isn't hard or particularly long, but it's just a bit boring and repetitive because you're just playing the same bits over and over again. Thankfully, the gameplay's fun, so it's easy enough to do. It was now time to pick up the remaining achievements that are scattered throughout the game. The next one that I went for was Catch. This is very similar to the achievement that I got earlier first, but instead of killing a suicider with a grenade, it's time to kill an infected with a grenade. Obviously they run around, so it can be quite difficult to do, but I found the best way to do it was just throw it on the ground, bait the zombie towards you, and then just sit on the grenade and kill you and the zombie. Having played through the game and then Act 1 4 times, I'd created quite a few customised weapons. Unfortunately, I was still a few away from creating 25, but I worked out creating Molotovs counts towards this. Molotovs only take 2 parts and you pick them up quite frequently throughout the map, so it's a good way to get up to 25 quickly. This got me the achievement, I want one of those. The next achievement I got was Extreme Firefighting. This is another one that bugged out slightly, so the editing again is a little bit weird, but this is when I got it and then this is when it popped. To get this achievement, you have to set 5 enemies on fire and then kill them with explosives. The best way that I found to do this was lob a Molotov into a group of enemies and then launch a grenade or a deodorant bomb or something like that, and it's pretty easy to do. Another achievement that you can get is to use a large medkit to heal an injury of 5% or less. This is quite tricky as to get to 95% isn't the easiest thing in the world to do, and then also to have a large medkit available. The way I did it was to take some full damage and then go to the village where they sell large medkits. After using it, it will then pop. Annoyingly, this one didn't pop immediately, where I had to exit the game, and then when I did that, it then eventually popped. I decided it was now time to take on some of the arena achievements. I'm usually not the biggest fan of arena sort of style games, but this was actually quite good fun and does get very difficult towards the end. Some of the achievements coming up did take me forever and I did lose my head a few times. The first achievement I went for in this was Out of Honey, Chew Bees. To get this achievement you just have to survive 5 waves only using your fists and legs. The arena is also a good opportunity to get some of the other achievements that are tricky to get in the main game. This is because the first few rounds the enemies are very weak and very easy to kill. Due to this, a lot of the enemies become one shot, whereas in the main game they take a few shots to take down. This gave me the perfect opportunity to get the achievement 10 heads are better than 1, which you have to kill 10 enemies in a row with headshots. The aim assist can make this a little bit tricky, but with a little bit of time and accuracy it's easy enough to do. Next up was Fancy. This achievement requires you to survive 10 consecutive waves using only custom weapons. Again, this is pretty easy because the first 10 waves have very weak zombies and there's not many of them. You just have to make sure that you have enough money going into it that you can repair them or have enough custom weapons that they don't break. Once you do this, the achievement will unlock. The arena gives you a perfect opportunity to use some weapons that you don't typically use through the main game either. Other than killing human enemies, I didn't tend to use guns against zombies due to them taking quite a few bullets to take down. This therefore meant with the weaker zombies in the arena, it gave me a good opportunity to get my kills up with the firearms. After getting to 250 kills on zombies using firearms, you get the achievement, Guns Don't Kill, but They Help. Another thing about the arena is because you're constantly fighting, you're constantly getting nicked by the zombies here and there. Thankfully, whilst killing them, they drop quite a few medkits and other sort of healing items. This then gives you the perfect opportunity to get the achievement Gesundheit. To get this achievement, you just have to heal 100 times using medkits. I feel like a lot of people probably got this achievement during the main game, but somehow I didn't quite do that. Alongside the normal controls, there's a control scheme called Analog Combat Controls. In this, you use the sticks to swing your weapon, which sounds pretty good, but in the whole, it doesn't work very well, and it's more annoying than anything. The next achievement that I went for was Stick It to the Enemy, which requires you to use these and get to wave 15 in the arena. Again, this is quite difficult and can take a little bit of time just because of how janky it is, but I worked out that it still counts if you use guns, so using them can be the best trick, really. In the Arena DLC, there's 4 different arenas. Each of these have different difficulties and different sort of setting. Once you get to wave 5 on each of these 4 arenas, you'll get the achievement Looking for Trouble. The first 5 waves on all of these are pretty easy, as the zombies are pretty basic and they're all very weak. When you kill a certain amount of enemies, you begin to build up your Fury meter. When you get this all the way up, you can then use a Fury attack. Each of the characters have a slightly different one, and they're all like insta-kill sort of attacks and last for a certain duration. You can upgrade this through the perk system, and they can be really strong. For some reason through the base game, I barely use this, as I just never really thought about it. This was different in the arena though, because to get to the higher rounds, you definitely have to make the most of it. Once you get 100 kills using these Fury attacks, you'll then get the achievement Rage Man. One of the more difficult types of enemies that you'll come across is the Butcher. These begin to exist in the jungle area and are very quick and can do a lot of damage very quickly as well. They also look bloody terrifying. When you see one of these, if you manage to kill them with an axe, you'll get the achievement, Spoiled Mate. Level 50 is actually very difficult to get into this game unless you play the story over and over again. Unfortunately, I couldn't be bothered to do this, as that would just take forever, and I'd sort of had enough of doing the Act 1, and I just couldn't bother to keep going. To get to level 50, I had to big brain it, and decided that the best way to do it was to build up as much money as possible, and then buy a shit ton of oleander. Using this oleander, I then went and spoke to a character that you can trade oleander for XP. I then decided to use a macro to continually interact with this character, handing him an oleander and getting 600 XP at a time. After a while, I finally got to rank 50 and got the achievement School of Hard Knocks. Light My Fire is another achievement that bugged out, but eventually I was able to get. To get this, you have to set 10 zombies on fire simultaneously. This does sound quite easy, but can be quite difficult because a lot of the time 10 zombies aren't in the same area. The way that I worked out to do it was go to the town, fire a gun and bait over as many zombies as possible, and then launch a Molotov into the group. Next up was Oh No You Don't. To get this achievement, you have to kill a ram using the tackle skill. Sambi is the only person that has the tackle skill, and you have to level it up about 6 or 7 times to be able to get there. Once you do this, you basically run into an enemy and you'll do a tiny bit of damage. You then have to kill a ram, which can be very difficult because they have a lot of health. The best way to do this is weaken it down as low as possible, either using a gun, weapon or anything. Just get it to as low possible health, bait it, let it run past you, and then run into the back of it. Eventually, you will get the kill and then get the achievement. In Arena C at wave 14 or 15, you'll finally get all of the infected that you need to get the achievement Complete a Set. To do this, you have to kill an infected, a suicider, a ram, butcher, floater, and walker all in one go. I'm pretty sure Arena C is the only one that you can do this in, so if you are looking for it, I'd recommend looking there. Next up was probably the hardest achievement in the entire game. This is Death Incarnate. To get this achievement, you have to get to wave 30 of any of the arenas. I tried this over and over again and couldn't get there, but eventually managed to do it. I don't even really know what to suggest, just make sure your weapons are high level, you're a high level yourself, and you've got plenty of medkits. Another annoying achievement is Rootin' Tootin' Lootin'. To get this achievement, you have to loot 5 exceptional weapons. As you can imagine, these are quite difficult to find. One of the best ways to find them later on into the game is go into Arena C and just fight through there, because you'll get the notification saying that a zombie holding an exceptional weapon has appeared. Once you kill them, they'll drop it, and then you pick it up. After you do this 5 times, you will get the achievement. The penultimate achievement I got was Gladiator School. To get this, you just have to survive 15 consecutive waves with each of the 4 characters. By getting to Act 1 with each of the 4 characters, you have them at a decent level already, so it's not actually that difficult. It's a bit of a grind again, but once you can get through it, it's easy enough to do. Last up was how many days exactly. To get this, you just have to play the game 28 days after playing it for the first time. Fortunately, you don't have to wait 28 days and can just change the date and the game will give it to you for that. As you may notice, there are a few achievements that are missing from this video. That's because they're all related to being online and there just isn't enough people playing online available to do these achievements. It's a bit of a pain because I would have loved to have got it and just fully 100% it, but I'm happy with how many that I got and managed to get all of the ones that I could. In the future, I think if there's a second boom or I can find people that are willing to go through it, I'll definitely go around to getting them and then just finish it off there. Overall, it's a great game and I can't believe it's 13 years old because it holds up so well. I would definitely recommend anyone that hasn't played it before to play it, and even if you've played like Dying Light or anything like that, definitely get around to playing this because it's in itself a great game too. I'm not sure if I'll continue playing the other ones because I've never actually played Dead Island 2 and it does look like a bit of a change from this, but I do think at some point I'll give that a go. If you have any sort of improvements to these videos, please let me know and I'll put it in, and if you've made it this far, I really appreciate it, and a like and subscribe would go a great distance for me, so thank you very much. Once again, thank you, and if you fancied watching any other content like this, I've got a few videos on the channel like this.